guys, what's going on? I got a pretty cool knife today from a company I've never used or seen actually. It's called Giant Mouse. They're a company, from what I saw on their website. They have like some Danish designers, and they're also working with some guys out here in the US as well. Their headquarters is based out of Michigan, and I think most of their knives are made either in Italy or in China, but their kind of mission statement as a company is they wanted to make the highest quality knives for a fair price. And I gotta say, just holding this thing, it feels great, honestly. Like I said, I've never really held any of their knives, but I had a buddy recently that had two different models of theirs, so I was able to kind of check out both of them. This is their, I don't even know what you want to call it, like Jagt, I guess, Jagt. It's got a flipper on the backside, super smooth, and then it's also got this little thumb hole, kind of similar like a Spyderco or something. But this thing's super smooth. This is one of the first knives that I've ever used that has bearings, and I gotta say, I really notice it. This thing is a lot smoother than I want to say I'm used to, but I mean it's what I expected, I guess, for bearings. So I'm glad to know that it actually feels how people kind of hype it up to be. But this thing's awesome. I really like it. There's a couple little design things that I think are kind of weird that I'll go over, but for the most part, this thing's pretty sweet. We'll do a quick comparison just so you guys kind of have a reference. Got the griptilian there, and I also have a little Manix 2. So it's a pretty decent sized knife. It's definitely kind of an interesting shape as far as the blade geometry goes, and the handle. We'll get a little measurement on it here. Got like an overall length of 8 inches, blade length of like 3.27 according to their website. It's a little over 4 ounces, 4.2 ounces, but yeah, just kind of talking through a couple of the features. Got this wire pocket clip. I honestly like wire pocket clips. I have one on my my native, or not my native, but my Manix. I mean, and I like them. This thing's pretty out of the way. Get a pretty deep carry on it. It's got this little, I guess, brass piece in the back for a lanyard hold. I like that it's actually in a place that you can mount some paracord or something, and it's not going to be like in the way. I kind of get when knife companies like put it on the back side. That way, if you do want to hold the knife like in a reverse grip, you still have somewhere to put your hand, but I don't really do that often. So I kind of like when it comes right out the back, because that's the whole reason I'm putting it on, is to help it get into my pocket. But yeah, it's a liner lock. Liner lock feels good. Maybe a little on the stiff side, but I also don't know how used this knife is. Blade is a MagnaCut. They have their little stamp right there of a little mouse, and this is the Ace line. It's kind of confusing on their website. All the knives, at least in the Ace category, are called an Ace, and they kind of have like a sub name, like this is that Jagt or whatnot. So when I was first trying to find information on this, I was just looking up the Ace, because that's what I thought this thing was, and there's a ton of Ace models to choose from. But yeah, it's kind of like a black micarta finish. Feels super good in the hand. It's got all these little kind of like ridges on both sides of it. Hardware on here looks nice. And yeah, I really can't get over how smooth this thing is. I mean, it really is super smooth. One of the first things I think is a little weird is how high up this jimping is on the blade. I always appreciate when companies do include jimping, but for whatever reason, I mean, I wear an extra large glove, and this is like way up here. I don't know if they're just trying to give you the most like the highest choke up point for like if you're really trying to dig into something, but generally speaking, I think having the jimping a little bit closer to the handle makes a little bit more sense in my opinion, at least for what I've seen up to this point. But that's kind of what they wanted to do. The handle's pretty comfy. There's not really like options as far as like where you want to grab. We have a little like sharpening choil there, so if you did want to choke your finger up, that might be kind of a weird deal. You pretty much are just limited to this grip. And then, like I said, if you were going to get this grip, you kind of have to to hike up on this thing a ton. It's a little awkward. I think if it was a little lower, it'd be a little bit more of a natural grip, but it does feel good in the reverse grip. Feels good this way. I always kind of like when knives give you the ability to actually kind of choke up onto the blade a little bit more. And I think if they did include something like that, that would give you some options to actually use this jimping if I could get my finger in right here, but I really can't because I don't want to cut myself. But if you look at the grind looks really nice on this knife. The edge is sharp, looks put together, and I think for what the company's saying, this thing MSRP is at $215, which I think is a fair price. You're getting Magna Cut. You're getting, I think this has steel liners on the inside of it, and then also has that micarta on the outside. But I feel like this thing's pretty nice. I I really don't have anything bad to say about it other than I think the jimping location's a little weird, but the overall like blade shape of the knife and just kind of the aesthetic as a whole is a little different. So if you guys haven't checked out this company, it might be worth giving it a look and just kind of seeing some of the different shapes. They have a lot of kind of unique blade shapes and kind of designs. So maybe if you're tired of looking at the same old thing, this could be something interesting to check out. And I think a lot of their knives in this Ace line do come on bearings. So yeah, I think for 215 bucks, it's a good option. I think maybe in the future, if I can check out a couple more of these, I'd definitely be willing to do that. But yeah, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.